Welcome to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Building Supply. I'm your host, Don Magruder. If you like today's show, go to aroundthehouse.tv where you can sign up for our YouTube channel and our weekly newsletter. In this segment of Around the House, Mark Williams from Your Private Adjuster will be here to discuss how to hire a public adjuster to help you on your next insurance claim. It's a big issue when you're having complex claims and you want to make sure that you get the most for your home. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mark Williams from Your Private Adjuster. Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me.
We are so glad to have you here today because this is a topic many homeowners don't understand. Take a few moments and tell us about Mark Williams and Your Private Adjuster.
Okay, well, Your Private Adjuster has been around since 1995. Our founding member, Blaine Vermeulen, was a general contractor in Miami and sold his business and became a PA. Our managing partner, Tara Munoz, came up through the insurance industry in large loss management and whatnot, and she runs our day-to-day operations now.
What's the difference between an insurance adjuster and a public adjuster?
Well, an insurance adjuster, most insurance adjusters today are independent, okay? They're contract employees, and a public adjuster works for the insured, not for the insurance company. And we get hired by the insured to represent them in their claim.
Okay, how does someone become a public adjuster?
Well, typically, like myself, I came up through the construction industry. I have an engineering degree, and I was an independent adjuster for 10 years before I became a public adjuster. So you have to have some knowledge of the insurance industry or construction industry, and then you have to get the right license, of course.
I guess the most important question, why would a homeowner hire a public adjuster when they have a claim at their house?
Well, the insurance company hires an insurance adjuster, right? They come out there, but they have no representation. They've never done this before. The insured has never been through a claim. It's a lot of times a once-in-a-lifetime situation. And so we advocate for the insured to hire someone to represent them. You know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime issue for you. I do it every day.
Okay. Are most insurance companies using their own adjusters, or do they hire adjusters that sort of travel across the country, or do you know?
It's a combination.
Yeah.
In a catastrophic event, a hurricane or a flood, almost all of those adjusters are going to be independent contractors. And more, that's the case.
Okay, so as a public adjuster, if I'm hearing you correctly, you represent the homeowner who's presenting the claim to the insurance carrier.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
The homeowner or the business owner or the homeowners association. Okay, we do a lot of work for associations. A board president on an association is a private individual. A lot of times that position is voluntary. They don't have the time or the expertise to manage a large loss, so that's why they would hire someone like myself.
All right. Let's sort of talk about real world. Say someone has a fire in their home. First off, are there claims too big or too small for a public adjuster?
There are claims, unfortunately, too small.
Okay.
I mean, it's a hard thing to talk about. We'd like to help everybody, but of course, we do have to make a living.
Okay. Where I see, and most people take when that insurance adjuster comes out, that everything he says is gospel. Most people have gone to these computer programs. I've seen them, where they'll say, well, you had a fire in the kitchen. The cabinets are worth this. The cabinets worth this. They're cleaning this. And I understand you guys would dispute it. So let's say someone has a major fire in the kitchen.
Okay.
And they've called their insurance carrier, and their insurance person has come out there. What are going to be some of the things you're going to probably note that maybe they would pass by?
Well, first of all, you have to understand that an insurance adjuster that comes to your home, it's the luck of the draw, right? That person may have experience. That person may have never been on a fire claim before. So there's no guarantee on that. But they're seeing a snapshot of the damage, and they're writing an estimate, which may or may not be a complete estimate for the damages that they can see. What happens on that fire claim if electrical is exposed? And when you hire a contractor, they can't do the electrical work because the electrical system has to be upgraded to code. Who's going to write that letter? Who's going to get those estimates? Who's going to put all that together? Who's going to fight the insurance company?
As a public adjuster, do y'all also focus the damage behind the wall? And is it more about evaluating things that need to be replaced instead of repaired?
We are the advocate for the insured. We see the claim all the way through, as to where an insurance adjuster is just there for one moment in time. Okay, so when you have undiscovered damages like code issues and things of that nature, structural damage that might not have been seen, that's when our work really starts.
Okay. Let's go through the process. Say someone watches this show and they either have catastrophic flooding, say a pipe broke in their house and upstairs and flooded the place, or they've had a major fire, or maybe even a tornado, and they call their insurance company, and the adjuster comes out there and first off, he's trying to minimize damages, and they don't feel good. First off, when should they call you?
Well, really, they should call me immediately, okay? If you have to understand, if you hire a public adjuster, they are your representative, they're your legal representative, and they do everything. You literally do not have to talk to the insurance company whatsoever.
But, and that's a big deal. A lot of people, just honestly, they're not used to negotiating like business people are and advocating for themselves, and they automatically you find that people just automatically take what the insurance people give them.
That's correct.
And because they're timid or afraid they can't talk the jargon.
That's right. And that's the biggest mistake that they make, is that they accept what the insurance company offers.
Okay, so let's go back to my scenarios.
Okay.
Had this big fire. House is burned down, or almost burned down. So you said call you first. So I'm going to call you at what number?
You're going to call me at your private adjuster, 1-800-892-1116.
Okay. So make that phone call and say, hey, Mark, I've had this catastrophic fire at my house. I'm afraid I may have lost most of my valuables. Can you help me? So what happens from there?
First thing is we ask you to send us your insurance policy.
Okay.
First things first, we have to look at the insurance policy and see what's covered and what's not. So it's always important. I would recommend that you always have an electronic file of your insurance policy available.
So they call you and you get the insurance policy. You deem the insurance policy is big enough, or not. I hate to use big enough, but appropriate enough for the
appropriate
claim.
coverage, right?
Okay. What do you do from there?
We go out and we inspect the loss, and we evaluate everything. We have a consultation with the insured and let them know, what's up with their claim. Do they have a claim? Do they have coverage? Do they have sufficient coverage?
Okay. All right. Will you make your own determination as to the value of that claim, or do you wait for the insurance company to come back and make a valuation?
No, we always do our own evaluation. We write our own estimate, and if the insured has a general contractor, if it's a large loss, we work with their contractors in preparing that loss.
Okay. I'm told, and I'm not, and I'll let you speak for yourself, that in many cases a public adjuster can get considerably more in damages, or you generally are more successful because you're recognizing the hidden costs. Is that the fact?
That is the fact. There's been national studies that show that claims with public adjusters are settled at a much higher rate. because, as we just said, individuals will accept less from the insurance company, and I don't, and that's just nature.
Do you find out people are timid to call you because they don't want to be in part of the controversy?
Some people just really have a problem with, they feel like, that the insurance company is going to treat them right, and they don't, and they just assume that everything's going to go correctly.
Okay. All right, so you've done your evaluation of this fire damage, and so has the insurance company. And say you're $80,000 off. You say it's $80,000 worth more. They say it's not. What happens from there?
Well, we continue to fight that battle. We will bring in experts if we have to. We'll have the general contractor. We'll work with the general contractor to confirm that estimate, okay? And then we will present all that information in a very orderly fashion. You can get what you need from the insurance company if you know how to do it.
Okay. So you find you're successful in your claims?
I can't legally say 100%. But
Okay.
I am successful.
How do you get paid?
I get paid on a percentage of insurance proceeds.
Okay, so you get part of the insurance claim.
That's right. And it's my job to make sure that the insured gets every penny that's owed to them, and that all the repairs can be made, and the contractor's paid, and everybody's made whole again.
Mark, what are the claims that offer the best opportunity for you to benefit a homeowner? What type of claims?
Typically more complex claims. A limb hits a roof and you have a small hole, and the roof is repairable, that might not need a public adjuster. A larger limb goes through a roof and there's possible structural damage, and you have interior water damages. That's when you need a public adjuster.
So I guess what I'm hearing from you, don't dismiss any size claim.
No, don't.
Okay.
And call, because a public adjuster will come out and evaluate the situation and tell you really if you need them or if you don't.
Mark Williams from Your Private Adjuster, thank you for being here today. And one more time, if someone had a question about today's show, how can they reach you?
You can call Your Private Adjuster at 1-800-892-1116.
Thank you for watching Around the House today. And if you like today's program, you can find other programs at aroundthehouse.tv. Or you can sign up for our weekly newsletter and YouTube channel. Until next week, we will see you around the house.